Hi everyone, welcome back to the Castrology channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Cailin and today we're going to be looking at your July 2025 horoscopes. So this is a tropical Western astrological reading, and you can watch your horoscope for your ascendant sign, your sun and your moon sign as well. If you've only got time to watch one horoscope though, I would start off with your ascendant sign, which is also known as your rising sign. The reason for that is because generally speaking, it does tend to be the most accurate overall. And lastly, I am also on Instagram as well as Facebook, so it's the same handle, which is Castrology, if you want to follow me there. Hi Taurus, Sun, Moon and Risings, welcome to your July 2025 horoscope. So this is just such an impactful start to the month for you because Uranus is at 29 degrees Taurus. So this can see you closing out a major chapter or cycle of your life that maybe started in 2018, which is when Uranus first entered the sign of Taurus. So if you're a Taurus sun, this can see you experiencing a big breakthrough when it comes to your career and your creativity and your big goals and dreams for the future. If you're a Taurus moon, you may be hitting some kind of critical peak point as it relates to your family life, your home life, property and living circumstances. And if you're a Taurus rising, then this could just be like a huge pivot that you do in terms of your life path, what direction you want to go in, anything that relates to big life decisions, like what are you doing professionally, what are you doing in your relationships, in your marriage as a parent, and what legacy do you want to create and leave behind. So there's definitely a huge realignment that is occurring and that has been occurring for literally like the last 7 years, but zooming in to when Uranus first got to 29 degrees Taurus, that was on the 18th of June and that will be concluding on the 7th of July. So what I want to say to you is, as a Taurus myself, just so you know, Uranus is on my sun. It's 29 degrees, so definitely feeling it, but ultimately it's a homecoming. Okay, you're coming back to yourself. You're becoming more authentic. You are releasing pain and trauma and fears around being seen and emotional wounds around not being seen. And it's going to hit each Taurus a bit differently, but I guess at the crux of what I'm trying to say here is you need to be gentle with yourself. You need to give yourself grace and space to process and digest whatever is coming up for you at this time. And I know for a fact that it's been real up and down for Taurians for the last, at least 10 days, if not more. And that will probably persist through till the first week of July. So if you're a Taurus who's been going through it, and there's been highs one moment and lows the next moment, let me know. If I had to offer you one word for what I think this period of time is for us Taurians, I would say #breakthrough. Okay, so let's talk about career and business. And the first 7 days of the month are a big time for closing a chapter professionally speaking. So some of you may decide to walk away from a job or from an industry, or take a big risk in your existing career. Maybe there's a leap of faith that is occurring, or for some of you it could just be like revelations that are coming through about the work that you do and what kind of work you do want to be doing or don't want to be doing anymore. There could be a big break, okay, so a big work opportunity or collaboration that comes through, or perhaps you are revealing something about your personal life in a professional sense. Okay, and the reason why I'm talking about this is because Uranus rules over your 10th house. So your 10th house is Aquarius. So this is about how you are showing up in the world, the legacy that you want to leave behind, your public reputation, your career, how you're known, etc., etc. So on the 4th of July, Venus will form its annual conjunction with Uranus in Taurus at 29 degrees, and Venus is your chart ruler. Okay, so on a positive note, it's making an out of sign trine to Pluto in Aquarius and an out of sign sextile to Saturn and Neptune. But in saying that, Venus is your chart ruler. So when it conjuncts Uranus, especially at this hectic critical degree, then there can be unexpected things that come through. So just be careful when it comes to what you're putting online, what you're saying to your boss, what you are revealing in terms of your personal life, and that translating to the professional setting that you may find yourself in. So long story short, you could be doing something unexpected in the workplace or when it comes to your public status and your career. Doesn't need to be negative. Like I said, there are trines here, there are sextiles here. So you could just feel like you're experiencing a breakthrough. You're getting a lucky break. Maybe something that you've produced goes viral. Fingers crossed that that's me, because this is right on top of my sun. On a different note, on the Mars will be transiting your 5th house for the entirety of July. Okay, so basically with Mars going through your 5th house, this can indicate that you may be working towards starting your own business, launching your own business. If you already own your own business, then Mars going through your 5th house can see you just being very innovative, motivated, having a lot of willpower to actually advance your existing business further. Mars going through the 5th house could actually see you maybe cutting some things out. So cutting some services away, just taking things off your website and making important decisions, because Mars is a very strategic planet. Okay, Mars is trining you from the sign of Virgo, which is super positive. The last thing that I wanted to mention is that on the 13th, as it relates to career and business, is that on the 13th of July, Saturn will station retrograde in Aries at 1 degree in your 12th house. Now, Saturn rules over both your 9th house, which is Capricorn, and your 10th house, which is Aquarius. So with Saturn retrograde in the 12th house, for some of you, this could be a time where you actually take a bit of a career break. Okay, so this could be for a few weeks. It could even be until more towards November, which is when Saturn will be direct once more in the sign of Aries. On a different note, though, it could actually be a work project that you are spending time chipping away at behind the scenes. So this could be something that you're doing in private, or that's maybe a secretive matter, a confidential matter is what I mean to say. And maybe it's just like not ready for release and you don't feel like you're ready to share this with other people just yet. Okay, so now let's talk about finances and property. So on the 5th of July, Venus, which is your chart ruler, will enter the sign of Gemini, and it will be transiting Gemini in your 2nd house for the entirety of the month, all the way through till the 31st of July. So Venus being your chart ruler indicates that the house that it transits is where you're putting your energy and your attention. So there's a big focus for you on your financial situation. So maybe this is, budgeting, spending habits, trying to boost your financial situation. So increase your earning capacity, maybe procuring some resources, looking at how you can make your own money. And on a different note, Venus going through the 2nd house can see you really indulging on like luxury things, whether that's like nice restaurants, perfume, your wardrobe, hair, makeup, shoes, etc., etc. Okay, so it can be a time where we are spending a lot of money on ourselves, but in saying that, it can see us feeling more confident in ourselves and just presenting more in a more aesthetically pleasing way, or just being more in touch with the senses. Okay, so still talking about finances though, went on a little bit of a tangent there. On the 5th of July, so the same day, Neptune will station retrograde in Aries at 2 degrees, and that will be in your 12th house. Now, it is the ruler of your 11th house. So with this, there could be a large sum of money that you need to pay. Maybe you have to pay back like the tax office or the government, or you owe someone a large sum of money. Maybe you have to borrow money from another person. I would just say, first of all, a bit of a disclaimer, can't advise you what to do with your finances or anything in your life, really. Just take whatever you're hearing here with a grain of salt. But for me personally, I would be avoiding taking a big financial risk as a Taurus sun myself. Now, on the 7th of July, Uranus, as I mentioned at the start of the video, is going to leave the sign of Taurus. It's going to leave your first house and it's going to enter the sign of Gemini, which means it's transiting your second house, which is related to finances and resources. Okay, so as I mentioned, I think it was in the intro, maybe I also mentioned it at the start of your horoscope, but I'm actually putting out a big video on Uranus in Gemini, so you can subscribe to the channel to make sure that you're notified of when that goes up. It will be in the next week or 7 to 10 days. But in any case, with Uranus in your second house for the next 7 years, literally till 2033, this can see you totally revamping and revolutionizing how you make money. Okay, so this can be a time where there are actually a lot of financial ups and downs. So there can be big lump sums of money coming in. There can be some dry spells. I don't want to freak you guys out because I know how Taurus people are with their resources, but just know that it could be that you're working in a consulting role where it's you get paid in big chunks. So maybe for example, if you're a coach and people pay up front and then there's a period where, you don't see money hitting your bank account. That's one way that can play out. But ultimately, Uranus going through your second house plus Venus being there as well at the time that it enters Gemini can indicate that you are feeling more confident about your finances and your resources. So, let's just see if I had anything else to say. Oh, do secure passwords for things like online banking, PayPal, beware of scams as well. And just know that Uranus will be trining Pluto in Aquarius. It's sextiling Saturn and Neptune in Aries. So I see this as being very, very positive. And let's just move along to property. Okay, so property and real estate and your living situation is actually going to be a pretty big deal for Taurians. And that is because your fourth house of property and real estate is lit the hell up from the end of the month onwards. So basically, Mercury will be retrograde in your fourth house from the 18th of July through till the 11th of August. The sun will enter your fourth house on the 22nd of July. And then there's a new moon in your fourth house on the 25th of July. Not to mention Mercury's in your fourth house for literally 2 months. So from the 27th of June through till the 2nd of September. So Mercury retrograde here can see you reconsidering your living situation, working on possibly putting your house on the market or facilitating a new dynamic when it comes to your living situation. So maybe you're looking at moving in with another person, subletting one of your rooms. Maybe you're having your child come and stay with you or looking after grandchildren. You could be blending your families together. So maybe stepchildren moving in with you. We are going to segue into family in just a moment, but in any case, this can see you being very interested in the property market and in real estate with this double activation to your fourth house. If you are a Taurus who has a career in property and real estate, then this could be a very busy time for you, maybe a very fruitful time for you. But in saying that, any property documents that you sign or arrangements that you make with your living situation could be subject to change, especially between the 18th of July and the 11th of August. So that includes pet sits as well. All right, so which I'm going to be doing soon Very exciting. Anyway, with the new moon in your fourth house, this can see you wanting to invest in a new property, buy things for your home. Maybe that's furniture, maybe that's redecorating. And in any case, let's just move along and have a look at your family life. Okay, so same deal. Fourth house being activated by the Mercury retrograde, the new moon in Leo, and the sun in Leo, all from the 18th of July onwards for about a month, can see you really focusing on your family life. So maybe wanting to expand your family further, start a family. Maybe you are reconnecting with a family member that you haven't seen or spoken to in a long time. And for others of you, this could see you maybe helping a family member out financially speaking, or maybe they're helping you out in the way of resources. And when it comes to children, well, Mars is transiting your fifth house. So on one level, for those of you who have children, you may find that they are a bit more rebellious at this time, more defiant. So that's the 17th of June through till the 7th of August. It's a big long transit there. It's like, what is that, 2 months? Over 2 months. For others of you, you could actually be initiating that process of wanting to start a family. Okay, so you could be preparing for that, or just thinking about maybe like parental strategies for those of you who have children, etc., etc. So now let's talk about love and relationships. All right, so let's talk about friendships first, just randomly, because the sun will be in Cancer in your third house for the first 3 weeks of the month. Jupiter is here as well. So this can see you having this like abundant social energy. There could be lots of socializing opportunities, networking opportunities. There could be positive focus on one or more of your friendships. This could see you socializing with co-workers as well. I really think there's a lot of fun to be had here with the sun and Jupiter in Cancer in your third house. If you're not having fun, then maybe it is more that there's support available to you from your friends, all right? And even from siblings as well. Okay, when it comes to love and relationships, again, Mars is transiting your fifth house for over 2 months, and certainly the whole of July. And so the fifth house relates to love, romance, sex, passion, and dating. So Mars here can see you experiencing a bit of a boost to your sex life. And for others of you, maybe you're being more proactive when it comes to dating. Maybe you're going out on dates, or uploading a dating profile to an app. On a different note, this can see there being more passion in your existing relationship. To be fair, Mars through the fifth house can see there being disagreements or conflicts sometimes with our significant other, especially if this is someone who, like, it's not like your husband or your wife, it's maybe more casual or a newer relationship. And ultimately, you are also going to have the Venus-Uranus conjunction occurring at the start of the month. So as a Taurus, this can see there being some kind of unexpected development to your romantic situation. And I say that because Venus is your chart ruler. It rules over love and relationships. And then Uranus rules over your 10th house, which represents your public reputation. So that can be like the relationship itself, the marriage, making things official, putting your relationship out there in terms of like in a public sense. So for others of you, this could see you maybe moving things along very quickly with your significant other. So it's like you haven't been together very long, but maybe you're looking at starting a family or moving in together, or doing something that other people may be like, that seems too soon. Okay, but for you, you're just like, I'm ready, right? So lastly, this is the miscellaneous section of your horoscope. All right, so we've got a full moon in Capricorn occurring in your 11th house, not your 11th house, your 9th house at 18 degrees, which is trining you, okay? And it's also going to be trining Mars in Virgo, which is very positive. Ultimately, this can see there being some kind of conclusion that is reached for perhaps a legal matter or something that involves travel, documentation for travel, visas, passports, etc. Maybe some kind of epiphany as it relates to spiritual or religious matters. You may be faced with a moral dilemma around this time, but with the trine to Mars in Virgo at 13 degrees, I think that there will be some kind of positive out-of-the-box solution, so something that's a little bit out of left field. On a different note, when it comes to health, I would say the time where you need to be the most careful would be the first week of July, just while Uranus is at 29 degrees Taurus. And then, of course, Venus is going to conjunct Uranus on the 4th of July. So also with the full moon in Capricorn in your 9th house, there may be some kind of exciting education opportunity that comes up, whether that is to enroll in a course, to teach, or maybe some of you are graduating, which could be quite exciting for you. So let's just see, did we cover everything? Yes, I think we did. So Taurus, that's all I have for you for your July horoscope. If you enjoyed this video, can you do me a favor? Please give me a thumbs up, just because it helps me to reach more people. If you want to see more content from me, you can follow me on Instagram and or Facebook. And lastly, my 2025 yearly horoscopes are now available for 50% off. They're on sale, so you can purchase yours using the link in the description box below. Take care, Taurus, and I will see you guys in August.